Welcome new and old friends. My name is 242, and today 2 got us 4 Glitch in the Matrix stories. So grab yourself a tea or coffee, things are about to get interesting. She was cuter in the coffin than she ever was on our dates. But honestly, it would have been even better if she stopped crying. My mom came home twice without leaving. By assougi. Let me give you a little backstory. I'm a 10th grade student, and I have a little brother who goes to a different school. Both my parents were working at the time. My mom quit her job recently due to a mobbing. This happened a few months ago. Also, I had online school fully this year, save for a week, where I went to take exams in person. My brother went in person a few more times than me. I don't know, that's just what our government mandated. Now on to what happened. The reason I point out that my brother goes to a different school is because, well, I use the school bus, he gets picked up by my dad. And that week I was pretty much always arriving home first. It was Thursday. I can know whether I arrived first or not the moment I slip the key into the lock, because the last person to leave in the morning locks the door. The first person to arrive unlocks it. You still have to use the key when it's unlocked, but you only twist it once. It was unlocked. Thinking when my parents had arrived before me, I said, "I'm home," but got no response. So I assumed someone forgot to lock it in the morning and went to my room to change. Then I sat down in the living room and went on my phone. That's when I heard the drawer being opened in the kitchen. My mom often comes home with groceries and puts them in the drawer first thing when she comes inside. So again, I assumed the door opened and I just didn't hear it. I lightly shouted, "Hey Mom!" Well, the equivalent in our language. From the couch, I swear she said, "Hey honey," or something back. It was around 5 p.m., so the sun was setting. And around that time, you can see people in the kitchen's shadows on the corridor wall from our living room. She had a shadow, and it moved, and I went back to watching a video. So imagine my surprise a few minutes later when I heard the door open, got up to greet my dad and brother, and was met with none other than my mom, groceries in hand. A little uneased, I asked if she went down to the car to get some things. She said she just came home. I asked her again more directly and told her I just greeted her a few minutes ago, and she just laughed at me, and I think she thought I was joking or trying to scare her. It's kind of been on my mind ever since. One possible explanation is that I was stressed from the exams, but they weren't that hard, and though I studied a lot, I felt pretty good the whole day. I'm very puzzled. Standing over her dead body, I was so happy my mother's abuse was finally over. Wait, why is her corpse moving? Hey, don't forget to leave a comment and tell me what you think down below. My friend and I experienced possible missing time and woke up in an impossible location with no memory. By spamcentral. I will include images off of Google Maps with coordinates to help, and if anyone wants to look around there themselves. My friend and I were hanging out at my house. It was a house in southern rural Arizona. Big plot of mostly empty land with a trailer in the middle. We would often walk this area a lot, and I knew this area really well. We drove ATVs to make little dirt trails. I decided we would walk to the small retention pond about a half a mile away to see the gross water. The time was about 10 to 12 p.m. in September, so the sun was in the center of the sky. I noted this because sometimes the shadows get dark in the wash, and I wanted to be able to see for snakes. There was a fairly deep wash that runs into it, and it's really noticeable as a 5-foot to 10-foot deep crevasse in the ground. It was dry at the time, and we climbed down into it to walk easier to the pond. Do not do this, it's very dangerous. We arrived at the pond and played around for a bit. There is a hill on the left side when you enter from the wash, where you can see the house from. It is 100% a straight shot back. This is the only hill you can do this from, and I made a mental note to stick a stick on the top so I knew the right spot to go down where there were no cactuses. We both stood on the hill by my stick. We both confirmed the house is in our eyesight. We grab each other's hands and skid down the dirt side of the hill. When my feet hit the bottom, I blinked and let our hand go. We were not at the bottom of the hill. There were mountains and landmarks to aid, but I knew the land by my mind already due to the saragos and the water runoff patches. We were not even next to the pond anymore. Then I noticed how much later it was in the afternoon as the sun was beginning to start setting, like that orange stage right before it's going down. At the top of the hill, it was maybe 2 o'clock. I think it makes sense from the distance and us exploring a lot. Now it was around 6 o'clock. We were nearly half a mile away by the old power lines and old trailer that ran to the side of the property. The hill we stepped off of should have been behind us and was instead out of sight behind the trees around the wash, and we were out in the open. The time had passed and neither of us knew what just went on. The feeling was just, how did I get here? I better get home. Kind of like a feeling of shock and no emotion, just solution-based. All I knew was to disregard the facts and get my friend and I back home. I knew following the trail and lines would lead us back, but I didn't want to cross the wash again. But didn't care, as I felt like if the sun went down and we were still out there, we wouldn't make it back. I have no idea how to explain that feeling, but it may have been a general shock and anxiety of the event itself. There was no way I had been able to deduce this. We had crossed the deep wash again, another smaller 2 feet deep wash, and then walked another third of a mile into the middle of the dirt patch near the trailer/road to get there. We had already done a lot of climbing and trudging, so we did not choose that, and we would have remembered. My friend was silent the entire time we walked back to the house, and then told me she didn't know what happened once we got to my room. I asked her about 2 years back, and she just told me, yeah, that was weird. I have no memory of that blank, and she seems to not know either. I even recalled the story to my mom, and she just put it up to imaginative thinking. But it plagues me still, not knowing what or how that occurred. So here I'm going to have the pictures up on the YouTube channel. The first one is a red circle is their house, the green line is the wash we walked down, and the blue is the pond. This one is a blank reference with nothing on it. This is the spot on the hill we walked down and the spot we teleported to. It is 0.43 miles away. Close up of the exact spot on the hill that we slid down. I was sitting in a dark room, alone, when the demon whispered in a calm voice, "I have to destroy everyone in this room." I think I'm stuck in the Matrix? by Fast Profit 2212. Yes, the title sounds ridiculous, and I'm aware how crazy I'm going to sound, but please, just hear me out. Every day, I wake up at 10:32. My partner brings me the same coffee with 2 sugars and milk in the same mug. As I'm about to drink my brew, my cat jumps up on the bed and sits on my chest. I smoke a cigarette whilst my partner plays a game of online poker. At 11 o'clock, I open the curtains, and outside, I always see the same red car drive past, and then a black one follows, but gets stuck at the red light, which I can see from every window on the front of our house. I've never thought much of this part because it could just be coincidence. But here is where it starts getting weird. When I go into the kitchen, there's always these 3 same cups and 1 plate to be washed and the same amount of cat food in the cat bowl. When we turn on the TV, the same TV show, American Dad, is ready to play. Even though we don't watch that in the living room, I normally watch it on Disney Plus in the bedroom when I'm falling asleep. My friend always calls me at 12:30 with the same conversation that we had the day before, but we never discuss having a phone call at 12:30. My partner makes me the same ham sandwich for me at 1 o'clock. It always looks exactly the same, with the mayo dripping from the left side. My cat always comes across the sofa from the window to where I sat, but always meows at me 3 times first. My toilet routine is always the exact same, going to the toilet at the same time, doing the same thing every day. Every time we eat, I end up with chicken, mash, and veggies. The same pigeon sits on the fence, and I know it's the same because one of its feet is scrunched up and it stays there until we go to bed. We go to bed at 8. The annoying car goes past playing the same song, Gorilla's Dare. Then my sister calls on FaceTime at 8:30 and always ends the call at 9:47. I roll a spliff and watch Family Guy. It seems to be the same episode, or they all blur into one and it seems like I've watched them before. My partner falls asleep at 10 and last night I just had enough. I can't make out whether I'm crazy, in a mental routine, or in a glitch in the Matrix because this is driving me insane. I really need answers or help or just someone to tell me to shut the F up. I have tried to change the day by going to the park or seeing friends or inviting them around, going to the gym to break up the morning. I have tried changing what I eat or playing music. I even stayed away from the house for a full week. Literally so many things, but nothing changes. If people want proof, I will take pictures or videos, anything. I'm honestly getting to the point of moving homes now. This has only started when lockdown did, like a year and a half ago. Sorry for my grammar mistakes, I'm dyslexic. First edit. Someone commented to check my FaceTime records between me and my sister, and all that I found was that she hasn't been FaceTiming me. I've been FaceTiming her with unanswered calls. Also checked my calls from my friend at 12:30 and none exist at this time anywhere. This is strange. Second edit will be around 6:30 after I've spoken to my partner, sister, and friend all together. Second edit. Sorry guys, I never mentioned that I have epilepsy. It turns out that I've been having facial seizures throughout the day for a while. My partner has told me I walk around and talk to the windows and have been none the wiser. So yay, I'm going to have a call with my neurologist. Sorry about this post, I feel like a right twat, but hey, maybe it's something we can all laugh about together. Feel free to explore the first 3 floors of the cave, but never go further than that, lest you wake the guardian. We dismiss the old woman's advice as local superstition, until we heard the sound of 1,000 insectoid legs clicking and raising from the abyss. If you're enjoying this video, hit that like button and make sure it feels it. A case of vanishing voices and a missing dog. Sirenehexe. First thing I do in the morning is take my dog for a walk. We usually go early as we don't have encounters with bigger dogs that way. I have a beagle, so he barks at everything, not realizing his size. Anyways, I live on the second floor, and when we come back, I take the harness off my dog and let him run upstairs by himself. When he reaches the door, he impatiently scratches at it, and no one ever gets the door. This happened last year, early March, I think. I did my usual routine, and when we reached the stairs, I heard voices of people leaving the flat above mine. This is an open-staired building, and you know how each door has a special sound when opening and closing? Well, that's how I knew it was the flat above mine. The voices were like those of people leaving from a party, joyous, enthusiastic, and it was 7 a.m. So I stopped at the stairs, pondering whether to let my dog off the harness and run upstairs, to run after him and try to reach the door before they got to my floor, or wait at the bottom of the stairs for them to leave. My dog knew he must stay put on the 3rd step for me to take off his harness. And as he's waiting, I decided to go on as always and apologize later. All this while hearing their footsteps going down. By the time I got to the 1st floor, there were no people, no more footsteps either. I came to the conclusion they saw my dog and decided to wait until he was inside. But there was no scratching either. So I hurried, and to my surprise, I reached the last stairwell and had a clear view of my door, and there was no dog. A couple times he was mistaken our door and kept on going upstairs. I thought this is what happened, but there were no people standing there waiting to go by. I panicked for a second because, from my point of view, the door looked completely shut. Only when I stood right in front of it, I saw that it was open at a 45-degree angle. But how could the angle affect my perspective so badly? I remember touching the glass and honest to God believed my dog had gone through. I was so freaked out, but still, I thought that was the explanation. My mother was sleeping in the living room at the time because she had had a bad fall and got her knee injured. It was still early days, so she couldn't move without crutches, which I used to hand her after I came back from the walk. Even so, I asked her if she had opened the door for the dog, who was standing in the middle of the living room, wildly wagging his tail looking at me. He usually goes about sniffing around when he comes back. She didn't hear me well, so I walked to her spot and asked again. She gave me this confused look and said that when she didn't hear the dog scratching at the door, she thought it was right behind him, and said something like, "That was fast." But when I didn't reply, she thought something bad had happened on the walk and that I was mad. I explained the whole situation, and she said I probably didn't close the door all the way, but I have this obsession of double-checking everything is closed or turned off correctly. So I knew for a fact the door was completely closed. The door has a handle on it, and every time I go out, I lean all my weight towards the step, holding the handle and making sure it's properly closed. And my dog always waits to hear this sound to take off running downstairs. It's pretty loud sound too, and the door needs a big push to open or close because it has this thing at the button that gets stuck. My mother brushes it off almost immediately, but it's something I kept thinking of because I still don't get it. The vanishing voices and footsteps, my dog not being there, the door looking shut only to be open a second later. I have no idea what happened that day. To prove a monster doesn't live under my bed, my brother decided to sleep under it tonight. Now I can't sleep because something is right beside me. I hope you enjoyed these stories. If you did, hit that like button and make sure it feels it. If you'd like to help support this channel, liking, sharing, subscribing if you're new, it all helps. If you'd like to help in other ways, I have a Patreon, merch, and everything you want is in my tree link down below. I'd love to have a comment as well, but let me get you that Sunday word first. Now on to our Sunday word. Last week's word was control, and I got 3 replies with it. Those will be on screen for YouTube and also posted to Twitter for the podcast. Now let's move on to this Sunday word. This week's is expand, which means become or make larger or more expansive. So if you're on YouTube, write me a comment down below using this Sunday word. Or if you're on the podcast, go to my Twitter, @me, and make me a sentence with this word as well. All these will be in the photo for next week. But as always, guys, thank you for watching and listening. That really means a lot. Sleep tight and don't let 42 bite.